Hello, everybody, and welcome to Mint One. I'm your host, Tyson Honecker, and today we are going to talk about the Critics' Choice Awards, and of course, we're going to talk about how well Everything Everywhere All at Once did last night at the Critics' Choice Awards. They were sweeping, and I do believe that they are the main frontrunner right now for Best Picture for the Academy Awards. So we're going to talk about all that and more here on Mint One. So last night was the Critics' Choice Awards, and it was a great show. An award show actually finished right on time. However, how they may have done that might have not been the best, as they presented some of the awards off screen. They just kind of announced them to us right before commercial break. And they did that with a lot of the technical categories, and I was not a fan of that whatsoever. So I wish that they didn't do that, but they did, and maybe that's what helped, but hopefully they don't do that again next year. But we're going to get right into an award that they did present in person on screen, and that is Best Supporting Actor, otherwise known as the Ke Huy Quan Award, because he swept it up right here at this award show. He won for Everything Everywhere All at Once, and it is well deserving. Like I have said in the past, I believe he's going to take this all the way to the Oscars. I don't believe there's any chance of him being stopped. I thought possibly Brendan Gleeson could get him at SAG, but now I am full on the Ke Huy Quan train, and I believe he's going to take it. I'm so happy he did. His speech was phenomenal. He's just a phenomenal person in general. You can just see that through him at these award shows. That you can tell he's happy to be there. So I love Ke Huy Quan, and he was amazing in this film, and I'm glad he's going to keep on winning. And if we move on over to Best Supporting Actress, Angela Bassett took it home right here for playing Queen Ramonda in Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. And she is now seen as the front runner, and I do agree. I don't know if there's anyone who's going to stop her except at the BAFTA Awards. Now, the BAFTA Awards, I don't personally believe that they are well connected anymore to predict what's going to happen at the Oscars. I do believe that's where Carrie Condon for the Banshees of Inisherin could possibly get her award, and Angela Bassett would not. But other than that, I see Angela Bassett taking home SAG, and I see her taking home the Oscar. I feel very, very confident in her as well. Her speech was phenomenal, again, just like at the Globes. And I think that's going to make people excited to see her as well as future award shows up there giving some speeches. So I think she's brilliant, and I am so glad she's getting recognized. So that was Best Supporting Actress, and we're going to move on now to Best Foreign Film, and that was given to none other than RRR. This was a lock for the night just because the critics nominated RRR for Best Picture. So if it's nominated in Best Foreign Film also, that just means it's going to win. So that was no surprise here. Moving on to Best Cinematography, this went to Top Gun Maverick, and I'm very happy it did. It was close, I thought, between Avatar: The Way of Water and Top Gun Maverick, but for right now, I'm pretty confident that Top Gun is going to take this one all the way to the Oscars for cinematography. It was shot brilliantly, and it was my favorite film of last year, and that was one of the reasons why it was. So very happy it's getting recognized and that it's winning this award. Moving on to Best Costume Design, we have Ruthie Carter once again winning for Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. Very, very happy she won here. It was between Black Panther: Wakanda Forever and Elvis, but right now I just think Black Panther's blowing this out of the water. And I think this is Black Panther's award here for the rest of awards season. I don't see anybody upsetting it, and I'm very glad that the critics chose this one to win. Now moving on to Best Editing. This is one I was up in the air. I didn't know if it was going to go to Everything Everywhere All at Once or Top Gun Maverick. And the critics chose Everything Everywhere All at Once for Best Editing, and I think they made the right choice. This film depended so heavily on the editing. It was one of the best parts of the movie. You needed it to work with what the movie was trying to do. I'm very glad that the critics recognized that and chose this movie for Best Editing. And spoiler alert, future awards here, they really liked Everything Everywhere All at Once, and we'll get into that in a little bit here. But moving on now to Best Hair and Makeup. This one went to Elvis. It was between this and The Whale. Now, The Whale really transformed Brendan Fraser, but that was about it. Elvis transformed Austin Butler, and it also transformed Tom Hanks. So, I'm not surprised that it won here, and I'm very much confident in saying this is the front runner here for award season in this category. And then moving on to Best Score. This one was a shock. I did not get this one right. I predicted Babylon to win. Justin Hurwitz, I thought he was going to take this one. And it went to Tar. And very interesting because the Oscars don't even have Tar qualified for Best Score. I don't really know what was going on here. It shouldn't have even been in this category. But it went to Tar. It won't happen again. I do believe Justin Hurwitz is going to carry it for the rest of award season here. But this was a kind of just like a thinker. Like, why did this happen? But like I said, Tar won here, but I don't think it's going to happen again. I'm pretty confident in Justin Hurwitz still for Babylon. So I'm not going to change that at all for the Oscars. I'm pretty confident in that. Moving on to Best Song. Again, I was confident in this one. Got it correct. RRR won for Naatu Naatu. I do think right now this is the front runner. I was very shocked that it was probably going to win here. I thought Lift Me Up by Rihanna was going to be taking this one for awards season here, but it looks like it's going to be Naatu Naatu. And now I wouldn't be surprised if the Oscars are going to recognize RRR here in this category. And right now, I think you gotta have Naatu Naatu as the front runner in this category. Even though I would personally pick Rihanna for Lift Me Up. But moving on to Best Production Design. This one went to Babylon as well. Now, I personally wanted Avatar: The Way of Water, and I also picked Avatar: The Way of Water. I do still think that Avatar could actually end up getting this award. I think it's between Avatar, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, and Babylon. However, now I believe Babylon is, I would say, I don't want to say it's a front runner yet because I think all three of those films are, but it took the award here. It'll be very telling to see how well it does at future award shows and what that will mean for the Oscars. But right now, I gotta see Babylon's probably like floating between 1 and 2 right now, if you were to rank those three. And then moving on to visual effects, known as the Avatar: The Way of Water Award, because there's no way that any other film is going to come close to this one. Avatar's definitely going to take this one home. Very confident in it. Swept here. It's going to just keep on sweeping for the rest of the award season. Now, moving on to Best Animated Feature. Again, another locked category. Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio won here again at Critics' Choice. And it's going to win everywhere else. It definitely deserves it. And, yeah, that's enough said. Pinocchio's brilliant. It's going to keep winning. Now, another shock of the night was Best Comedy Film. The critics chose what I would have chosen, and that was Glass Onion, when I thought they were going to go for Everything Everywhere All at Once. But no, they went for Glass Onion as well. If we want to talk about it here, we will. Best Film Ensemble also went to Glass Onion, when I thought it was also going to go to Everything Everywhere All at Once. But the critics aligned with what I personally wanted, so I'm okay with getting those two categories wrong, because I was happy to see Glass Onion recognized. I was happy to see it take home 2 awards, and it definitely deserves, especially missing out on Best Film Ensemble for SAG. I'm really glad it got some recognition in the win here at the Critics' Choice. So, very happy for Glass Onion. Love that film. Glad it's getting its due. But moving on to Best Young Actor or Actress. The winner here was Gabriel LaBelle for The Fabelmans. No surprise, really. Thought he was taking that one home. He was playing Steven Spielberg, or a version of Steven Spielberg, I should say, in The Fabelmans. And that was actually the only win for The Fabelmans. I think that's a little telling, but we'll get into that conversation as well a little later here in the video. But so glad he got that there. Moving on to the Screenplay Awards. Let's get going with Best Adapted Screenplay. They recognized Women Talking here. This is where Sarah Polley was able to take home her award for Best Adapted Screenplay. It was well deserved. I personally would have chosen Glass Onion, but I did predict Women Talking winning, and it did. Like I said, I think it was the right choice to give to Women Talking. That film has done so much, and I think it's not getting as much love as it should be. but I'm glad it's getting recognized here. Moving on to Best Original Screenplay, I predicted The Banshees of Inisherin, but the critics gave it to Everything Everywhere All at Once. Not too surprising, as I did say, those two were very close. I do think they could enter. I think they could change going to the Oscars here. PGA, it will be very interesting to see, or WGA, the Writers Guild. It will be interesting to see which one they pick. As I believe it is going to be between Banshees or Everything Everywhere. But the critics, like I said, they loved Everything Everywhere All at Once. I mean, it swept all these awards here. So, not too surprised it won. If we're talking about Oscar chances, I definitely think it helps Everything Everywhere All at Once getting this boost, and I think it could possibly now. I think it could be the front runner in this category. Banshees is still very strong, but the love that the critics gave for Everything Everywhere All at Once is very important here. So it's kind of a toss-up between those two still, but I think for right now, I might switch it to Everything Everywhere All at Once right now for the Oscars frontrunner. And then we're going to move on to the big awards of the night. Best Director. Okay, Best Director is between Steven Spielberg for The Fabelmans and the Daniels for Everything Everywhere All at Once. A lot of people thought Spielberg was going to get it here. I went with the Daniels at the last minute, and I'm glad I did because the Daniels took it home for Everything Everywhere All at Once. Definitely deserved as well. This puts the Best Director race up in the air. If Spielberg won here, I don't think there would have been a shot that the Daniels would ever have gotten a win in this category, but now it's 50-50. And I still think Steven Spielberg is a strong lead in this category. Do not count him out. However, the Daniels right now are the talk of the town. Their film is the talk of the town. And I think that could help when it comes time for Oscars voters to get in on this category. So for right now, it's still up in the air, but I'm kind of still leaning towards, I would love to see the Daniels win it at the Oscars. However, I'm still going to go Steven Spielberg as the front runner, but it is very close for sure. Moving on to Best Actor. This was probably my favorite award of the night, and I am so glad that it went to Brendan Fraser for The Whale. I mean, his speech alone was so emotional. I was just so happy to see him up there. I mean, you could tell how much he cared about the performance, about the movie, about his cast, his crew, and he really appreciated the love that everyone in that room gave him and that we, the audience, gave him as well. And boy, does he deserve it. I have said from the beginning that it's going to be between three actors here, Austin Butler, Brendan Fraser, and Colin Farrell, but I've always thought that Brendan Fraser is the front runner for the Oscars. I did predict Colin Farrell here because I thought the critics were going to go for it, but I am happy I was wrong because Brendan Fraser, I think, does deserve all the wins here, and I'm glad he got it here, and that's why I still think he's the front runner for SAG and the Oscars. So very, very happy for Brendan Fraser. Just phenomenal work by him. Phenomenal. Moving on to Best Actress. Now, this was between Michelle Yeoh and Cate Blanchett. And I said in my predictions video, I knew that the critics were going to try, I believed that the critics were going to try to give Everything Everywhere All at Once a boost. And they definitely did. However, I thought in this category, they were still going to give it to Cate Blanchett. And that is exactly what they did. Cate Blanchett took home Best Actress for Tar, gave quite a comical speech as well. But like I said, I think Cate Blanchett is going to be sweeping here in this category. I think she is the front runner for sure. Don't count Michelle Yeoh out, but this just installed confidence that Cate Blanchett is most likely to take home this award at the Oscars. And now, the big one. Big one. Best Picture. It was between Top Gun Maverick, Banshees of Inisherin, The Fabelmans, and Everything Everywhere All at Once. I had The Fabelmans, but I switched it again at the last minute when I felt the surge of Everything Everywhere All at Once, and I'm glad I did because they took home Best Picture. And you could tell that they were shocked, excited as well to be getting this award, and I think this propels their chances on Oscar night. So very happy that they took home this. And now is when we can get into the conversation about Everything Everywhere All at Once sweeping at the Critics' Choice. I said in my prediction video, if they sweep here, my confidence in this film is going to grow, and it did. I think that right now, Everything Everywhere All at Once is the front runner for the Oscars. When I thought it was going to be between The Fabelmans and Banshees, but neither of those two films did nearly as well. Banshees didn't win a single category. Not that the critics necessarily overlap with the Oscar voting body, but I think in terms of award shows, this one's pretty significant for how some of the Oscars are going to shape up, and I think Best Picture is affected by it. And right now, that's why I'm very confident saying that Everything Everywhere All at Once, it's my number one right now as who's going to win Best Picture. It definitely can change between now and then. But for right now, Best Director, I'd say Best Picture. Of course, Best Supporting Actor is a lock for the film. Those three right now are the main ones I think that Everything Everywhere is in contention for and is number one at the moment. And I think the audience as well and the Oscar voting members see the love for this movie, and I think that could possibly influence them. An interesting race is going to be Best Original Screenplay, as that's going to be between Banshees and Everything Everywhere All at Once. So again, it's going to be very interesting to see where that category goes. I think it is going to interchange, but I mean, it's up in the air when it comes to the Directors Guild. When they are announcing who's going to win Best Director, of course, the Daniels and Spielberg are in contention there. I think wherever they land, I think that's obviously going to be very telling, and I think I'm going to agree with no matter who they pick. I think that's who I'm going to predict to win the Oscar. But for right now, for Best Picture, Everything Everywhere All at Once is looking way better than it was last night. I'll tell you that. So I'm very excited because this award season, I kind of thought it was going to be no surprises, that it was just going to be straight sweeps. But it looks like to be a very exciting, thrilling ride where my predictions are going to keep changing, and I'm not going to know much until maybe a day or even on Oscar Day. So I'm very excited for this award season to continue. Next up, we have BAFTA, I believe. So we have BAFTA to look forward to, and then we have the SAG Awards, and then we have the big one. We have the Oscars. I mean, it's coming real fast, and this one was a great tell to see where the voting bodies feel about this year of films. So very excited for all the winners here. Very excited to see where all these nominees will go. It's just an exciting year for film here. It's an exciting time to be a film fan. And with all that being said, that will do it for the Critics' Choice Awards. Thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you guys so much for the support here on Emit One. I really appreciate it. Please like, subscribe, ring the bell down below, and please share this channel to anybody who loves entertainment content. I just want to grow an amazing Emit One community here where all us film fans can talk about film, movies, TV, streaming, all of that stuff. Here, it's a great place to do it. So I'm very excited to see where the future of this goes. Thank you guys again for the support, and let me know down below what you guys think about award season and what you thought about the Critics' Choice. Very excited to keep on doing more of these videos, and look out for more very soon. And until next time, everybody, I'm Tyson Honecker, and I'll see you back here on Emit One.